Boys and girls, today you're going to need your sketchbook, you're going to need your rectangle and your triangle, you're going to need your black sheet of paper, but we actually don't need that right now, so we can set that aside. You might need some Sharpie markers. You're definitely going to need a eraser and a pencil, and you'll eventually need your oil pastels, but probably not right now, and you possibly might need some scissors. So you need to gather all that stuff, and I'm actually going to use a white sheet of paper. You could also use a piece of paper from your sketchbook. If you want to rip it out, that's fine. Just make sure that you don't have a sketch on the other side. So I'm going to set that aside on the floor, and then we are going to learn about the artist Andy Saczynski. He is native to Florida. He's actually very close to the seaside area, and he does a lot of beach themed folk art, very, very expressive, and lots of fun animals and octopus and alligators, and he paints on surfboards and things like that. So we are going to draw an alligator with shapes. So you're going to be using shapes, and we're really probably not going to trace these. We're going to use them like a ruler, and we will be using shapes. You're also going to be using line, and then later on we will also take our oil pastels and we use those for color. So now we're going to get started, and I'm going to take one sheet of paper, and I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm going to use my rectangle and my triangle just to help me. I'm actually probably not going to trace it as much as I would like. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on the mouth of your alligator, and if you get stuck at any time, you can always pause the video so you can see what I was doing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a vertical line. This is the middle of our paper, if you want to put a little dot there, and probably the sheet of paper that you're getting out of your sketchbook is a little bit smaller than this. So you need to understand you have to draw big. You have to draw big, fat, and chunky. So you actually don't need that mark there, but if you just need to know. And then I'm going to come over here, so if that's the middle, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to draw a light line, but I'm going to draw it dark for you so you can see it on camera, and it is a sketch. And then I'm going to draw the mouth, the top of the mouth, and then I'm going to draw the bottom. So you have a vertical line, two diagonal lines, and then I'm going to make another diagonal line here. I'm going to make this one a diagonal line up there. It's kind of like the jaw. And then I'm going to make almost kind of like it's going to start to look like a triangle. So it's going to go almost to this vertical line. And then I'm going to make this one come down. And you can see that it's almost going to this line right here. Okay? And then we have the mouth. If I were to turn it like this, you can see it looks like the letter V, or it looks like a person's pair of pants. So the next step is we're going to make the nostril for the alligator. And I'm just making two curved lines. And then I'm going to, if you want to, you can use this to make your teeth. I'm actually just going to do it freehand, but they have to be big, fat, and chunky. You knew I was going to say that. And if they're not, we're going to have a hard time tracing them when it comes time to trace for our black sheet of paper. The next step is you're going to make an eye. If you want to go grab a quarter or grab something that is a circle shape, you can do that. You can pause the video. And then I'm going to make another shape inside of that one. And then another shape inside of that one. That's going to be for my eye. And then now it's time to use our rectangle. I'm not going to trace it completely because then it's going to make my tail be a little too short. So I'm going to just back it up a little bit, and then I could actually trace it. So I want to make sure I have a long tail. So I'm kind of liking that. So I'm actually going to do this, and that tells me how long my tail is going to be. I'm going to make a line here, and then I'm going to make a line here. The cool thing is, if you make a mistake, you can always erase. Now it's looking a little bit strange, but it is made out of shapes. And then I'm going to take this, I am going to use it this time. I'm going to line it up with this corner of the rectangle, which is this shape, and this part of the rectangle, which is this shape. Sorry that I moved it. And then I'm going to use this to make a you said it, diagonal. And then I'm going to do it again, and then diagonal. And you want to make sure you make your every line and every shape really big and really fat and chunky. So now we've got a triangular tail, and now we're going to work on the spine of the alligator, and I'm going to actually use this small end. And if you want to use this, you can. What it will do is help you to draw big. And so I'm going to make it have 3 of them. And I know this is a little bit different than what a real one would look like, but that's fine. And then if we want to, we could actually make a little bit of a curved line. If you don't want to do this, it's fine, to give it a little bit of a belly, because you know alligators have a belly. And it's starting to look pretty good. And then we're going to make 2 legs. Now they actually have 4 legs, but we're going to make 2 legs on here. And it's going to be kind of like we're making almost like a light bulb or a letter U, and then triangle, triangle, and then a triangle. And it needs to be big, fat, and chunky. And this is probably one time that you might want to erase on the inside. Now I can do the exact same thing, but I think I'm going to have this one make it look like it's going at an angle. So, and I could do a different example of it. I could do kind of like this. So I'm doing a diagonal line, and then I'm doing the big fat web feet, and then I'm going to erase that. Okay? Now, I'm going to use this to help me with my black piece of paper, and I'm going to speed up the video, and I'm going to actually trace this. And we could do a couple things. We could actually take this one, cut it out, and paste it on top of the black. You could stop here. You could take this and place or cut it out and use it as a template, so you could trace it. And you could use a white oil pastel to draw your lines on there. We want that for the contrast. So there's a couple ways that you could actually do this.